Hindus. We living, practicing Hindus, not only we should achieve the individual peace through unclutching yoga, meditation, we should also create an ecosystem where the global peace starts manifesting. This Kailasa Hindu micronation is the enlightenment ecosystem. I request every living, practicing Hindu to manifest, do it. So the global peace can manifest from these Kailasa Hindu micronations all over the world.
And now, let us see how the sovereign order of Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and Nithyananda order of monks, nuns, and Hindu diaspora, are working for global peace and to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. It is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's mission to revive a conscious world where the global issues at the climatic, economic, social, health, and humanitarian levels cease to exist from their very root, turning the problems of poverty, hunger, violence, discrimination into powerful living through the experience of oneness. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been working from the very grassroots level to usher in an era of peace at all levels: individual, societal, national, and global. His deep insights into the workings of the human mind, body, emotions have enabled him to powerfully and directly address various social and emotional problems facing humanity today. Some of the ways that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism provides spiritual solutions to combat the pandemic and other issues include: since the beginning of the global lockdown, the amount of contribution and activism of Kailasa has increased manifold. Through the Paramashivoham program, bringing superconscious breakthrough to the whole humanity, by starting the Akhanda Nirvikalpa Samadhi Jnana Yajna and contributing almost 3 million minutes now, Paramashiva Sankalpa chanting 24/7 via Zoom sessions, spiritual healing to one and all 24/7, helping humanity cope up with insecurity, fear, disease by empowering individuals to heal themselves, learn to cope up with emotions like depression and tough situations in relationships, providing alternative solutions to worldly problems through power manifestation. Initiating thousands every day into manifesting innate superhuman capabilities in the Kailasa Courtyard sessions, providing healthy solutions like technique to clear the stomach from the Ayurvedic solutions, which ultimately brings clarity to the spiritual truths and give us conscious breakthrough. And in the long term, establishing self-sufficient communities. Continuing and intensifying the service of Annadan or free food in Nithyananda Annalayas around the world, including Tiruvannamalai and Los Angeles, paving the way with the new world order, starting the agriculture-based communities in Adi Kailasa and several other locations. Peacekeepers of Kailasa offering various life solutions from the teaching of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, offering Maheshwara Puja to the natural calamity head victims, Bhava Samadhi Darshan to raise the individual conscious breakthrough, and Devi Parashakti Akashic readings or the cosmic revelations. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's spiritual solutions for COVID-19 include and are based on the fact that society was created with delusional ideas of too many human beings, blind spots, and the decisions made from those blind spots. If the visionary of a civilization or country has blind spots when he develops the vision for it, the whole civilization suffers those blind spots forever. Now it is time that nature, Prakriti, resets itself. Many of the blind spots based visions, ideas became important components of society. This pralaya, which is happening, is melting down everything which is delusion based. The world as we know is gone. Let us celebrate God. This isolation, which is seemingly endless with an unknown future, which is compelling humanity to make 100% lifestyle change, is something to be deeply dwelled upon. All problems need to be addressed only with spiritual solutions and powerful cognitions. To stop people having mental breakdown, pandemic fatigue, collapsing, depression, destruction, and also give them superconscious breakthrough and revive the enlightened civilization. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism continuously is giving spiritual solutions and powerful cognitions. These powerful cognitions vary, and there are they are manifold, ranging from unclutching, practicing completion, practicing oneness, ajapa japa of the Mahavakya Om Nithyananda Paramashivam, consciously building deep feeling connection, yoga, puja, vegetarian sattvic diet, nirahara samyama, and it continues. It is hence time that we all take the responsibility to save humanity, to protect ourselves, to protect people. People from over 50 countries continuing the space of Paramashivoham by practicing unclutching meditation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and solutions based on the ancient Hindu tradition, meditation, and yoga techniques from the scriptures, cognition, truths, lifestyle based on living and radiating the higher values of life, and powerful way of living and realizing one's ultimate potential form the foundation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's teachings, which by their inherent nature provide the foundation for peace on planet Earth. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism launched the Minutes for Peace initiative, which aimed to reduce crime globally by conducting mass meditations around the world in parallel. In 2014, just after 2 years of launching the program, it crossed over 1 billion minutes of meditation. Scientific studies have shown reduced crime rate after participation in the meditation and completion techniques. In 1976, it was found that when 1% of a community practiced meditation, the crime rate was reduced by 16% on average. The current tally on the Minutes for Peace website is more than 4.3 billion cumulative minutes of meditation logged, including all the events, programs, festivals where people have gathered in large numbers and participated in meditation and rituals. The total count comes to a staggering 409 billion minutes of peace so far. About 5,000 devotees gathered and participated in a 48-day meditation program called Shuddha Advaitam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has hosted Kumbh Mela in USA and Los Angeles since 2007. Nithyananda Sangha is entrusted as the only organization to host the Kumbh Mela outside India by the Akhil Bharatiya Akhada Parishad. In September 2006, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism organized the first confluence for world peace to honor the memory of those who lost their lives saving others on September 11th at Irvine, California, USA. This USA Kumbh Mela is standing for world peace, taking the Kumbh Mela, the sacred, most which happens since time immemorial in India, was taken to the United States first time by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And it is also a testimony to the commitment to peace which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made. And hence, the second confluence for peace was held in Los Angeles in 2007 in collaboration with Vedanta Society, BAPS, ISKCON, Siddha Yoga, and other organizations. The Kumbh Mela festival spread fast to other countries, including Australia, Canada, etc. In 2009, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism organized a month-long peace walk covering 1,000 kilometers, 1,000 villages, to bring together in harmony from all walks of life, to promote feeling connection, oneness among people. During the walk, health camps were conducted in villages along its path, and Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted large-scale collective meditations on September 21st, International Peace Day, over the years to raise the collective consciousness of the planet. Sannyas being a social responsibility to save Hinduism and humanity, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revitalized the monastic tradition of sannyas by initiating hundreds of people into the Nithyananda monastic order. The all-renouncing monks contribute the best things to human civilization, living their life with the cognition, life is for others. These monks and nuns act as harbingers of peace and empowerment for the human society distraught with violence, depression, and other forms of life negativity. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also revived the ancient practice of embarking on pilgrimages or spiritual journeys, taking spiritual aspirants to high-energy sacred spots like Himalayas, Kailash, Varanasi, Angkor Wat in Cambodia, and other powerful temples of India. Even though prevalent in India, this practice is rapidly losing its original context, turning into a recreational family vacation. Reviving the original spiritual context, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made it possible for modern-day human beings to benefit from the spiritual energy present at those centers and accelerate their journey of spiritual evolution, hence ensuring individual and collective peace as a natural consequence. The effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The United Nations Environment Program has noted how food systems hold the key to ending world hunger. Especially in this COVID-19 pandemic, the UN has noted a dramatic increase in world hunger. According to the State of Food Security and Nutrition in the world, 1/10 of the global population, as many as 811 million people, an increase of 118 million people just in 2019. According to the EAT Lancet Commission, moving toward diets with a diversity of plant-based foods, low amounts of animal source foods, unsaturated rather than saturated fats, limited amounts of refined grains, highly processed foods, and added sugars could prevent between 19 and 24% of all adult deaths each year. Through Annalayas, food donation centers, the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa worldwide, under the guidance of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, have served over 2 million organic, sattvic, vegetarian meals so far, giving free food to all the citizens. The economic policy of Kailasa deriving reference from the Vedas and Agamas. And recently, the humanitarian initiative launched by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the opening of Kailasa's COVID care centers in India and all the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa in India. The monastery campuses have been turned into a multi-layer quarantine facility to safeguard the inmates against any possible point of contact with the outer world. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened the service free to all people, regardless of any differences in age, gender, caste, creed, ethnicity, color, socio-economic status. Food, shelter, internet, and all basic facilities, including medical care, are provided at these COVID care centers for an indefinite time. The outcome has been a splendid zero infection rate so far among the participants, a feat not achieved anywhere else in India. This response model of handling the COVID-19 pandemic at a community level, along with guidelines and recommendations for governments, has been recognized and accepted by the United Nations as well. Participants of the COVID care program offered by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as we can see here, are enjoying a healthy, blissful, spiritual lifestyle in the multi-layered quarantine protection. They enjoy a stress-free time following the spiritual morning routine, doing yoga, daily puja, temple seva, Kara seva, and celebrating festivals. One can see here the Varalakshmi Puja done at Adi Kailasa, the female devotees offering puja to Goddess Lakshmi and listening to the Mahima, Mahaganapati worship during the Ganesha Brahmotsavam, and the participants enjoying modeling of Ganesha with their hand and creating the deity so that they can worship their Ishta Devata. And for experiencing all this and a lot more besides the COVID care protection that one gets, let us take a few minutes now to register now through the link https://kailasa.org/kailasacare. Let's take a few minutes to register ourselves for joining this COVID care protection center.
Easiest, most powerful, most inspiring, most exciting way to connect with life as the form of mother. Navaratri is the time to connect with Cosmos as mother. Celebrate Cosmic Mother. This 9 days we worship Mother, worshipping Divine Feminine
அதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி. ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
Ultimate divine descends in human body and expresses its extraordinary powers and experiences playfully. Sundareshwara is the embodiment of this statement. He is not Shiva as you understand, sitting in the Himalayas, frozen in the ice, in Samadhi. Sundareshwara is an artist with tremendous heart, ready to listen to human sufferings, ready to bend for human emotions. The one and only thing you need to obtain His grace is simple feeling connection. That's all. He bends for anybody, to any level. Even the word compassion is too small. He is still available. Even now, He is there. He assumes human body and relates with you, answers you, responds to you, raises you.
I don't know, I was lost. And then he was done speaking, and just tears just started pouring out of my face. I'm just like, ugh, I don't know what just happened. It was just like unbelievable, just unbelievable. I was just, I'm shaking now just remembering it.
I don't know what shifts inside you. It's just, I literally felt the strong initiation happening at that time when Swamiji blessed. I don't know, it just puts you in some different world altogether, and suddenly everything seems possible. Everything seems, like that impossibilities in that 1 second, fraction of a second, that impossibility drops from you. And you just, everything seems possible, that you get into that space of possibility. And I think, that is the greatest, dropping the impossibilities is really, and something changes in you, something shifts in you. You can physically feel the change, and the energy that is generated is really, it's phenomenal.
There are some gods, 9 unknown gods. The moment you call, they will be there. Venkateshwara, Balaji. I tell you, people give so much for Venkateshwara because he does the job. He's the 9 unknown god. There's a village full story where Venkateshwara borrows from Kubera for his marriage, and he is still paying the debt. Venkateshwara takes the responsibility of reserve to reserve. This whole story, beautiful story of Venkateshwara, is an amazing concept. He is making Yaksha into Lakshmi. He is making the reserve to reserve. It's an amazing truth. காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
Welcome back, dear viewers. We have a very special and exciting announcement for all of you. We will be having the live Paramashiva Sayuja Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara starting very shortly at 10 p.m. IST. So please stay tuned for that. We will be preparing ourselves to receive Bhagavan Sundareshwara, manifesting through the Supreme Concept of Hinduism now. Let us understand who is Bhagavan Sundareshwara.
So here today, as all of you manifest Bhagavan Sundareshwara and have the darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara, you can manifest the superconscious experience of the Shiva Sayuji Samadhi through the darshan of A.N.R. Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashivoham.
So let us get ready for the rare, unique, powerful initiation, the God equation, to make human beings into multiverse species by Parashakti.
And Sundareshwara beautifully says, we will watch a video where Bhagavan Sundareshwara blesses all of us and introduces himself.
Shave, shave, shave. Paramashiva, I will manifest the physics of my existence. Cognize this in your Hridaya Akasha, in the Gandha. You will experience my existence. Sundareshwara Paramashiva. The countless, uncountable by any visualized, assumed mathematics, Brahmandas manifest in me exist in me for all the
countless Brahmandas to exist. To get created, to get sustained, to get rejuvenated, to get deluded, to get liberated. I am the space.
So this is the Sundareshwara Paramashivam Sayuja Samadhi Darshan described by Bhagavan Sundareshwara himself. So let us understand what is happening in our world today, and let's understand what exactly the current situation. As all of us already know, we are in a very dire situation when it comes to change and global warming. According to the United Nations, a new scientific report for the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change warns that we are on a crash towards catastrophe. If global temperatures are allowed to rise, the window to slow or even halt some of the worsening impacts is rapidly closing, and the message is clear: we must take action now. And we've already seen the Supreme Concept Swamiji and Devi Parashakti also revealed that we will be seeing so many natural disasters, so many natural calamities during this time. And we've already seen this with floods, we've seen fires in the past 2 years. We've seen so many natural disasters, so many communities, families, and people being affected by all of these natural disasters. And this is also compounded along with the current situation of the pandemic.
So now let us watch a small video on how our world is today, the state of our world today.
In 2019, fire was spreading throughout our planet, quite literally, in places like Australia and the Amazon basin, where forest blazes supercharged by climate change wreaked havoc. In other places, mass protests flared up, fueled by a combination of job insecurity, growing inequalities, and discontent with the current economic, social, and environmental status quo. The economy has slowed down globally, stifled by trade tensions and political uncertainty. The little growth we have had has failed to reach those who need it the most. Progress towards higher living standards has stalled for many countries and vulnerable groups of people. This has only deepened inequalities which were already growing in many countries, spurred on by automation, climate change, and other global trends.
This was the state of the world even before the pandemic hit itself. So many people being affected by natural disasters, the climate change and global warming. So many things affecting the world prior to COVID-19. Of course, with the pandemic, we have seen an unprecedented situation all across the globe. And according to the World Health Organization, the total cases of COVID-19 globally has increased to 221 million till date. And Healthline.com states COVID-19 cases have risen more than 150,000 per day in the United States alone. And experts warn that with emerging variants, this could lead to another surge in cases. And despite the ongoing pandemic being amidst us for the past 1.5, almost 2 years. We've not found any solution. We've not found any healing for our suffering. And even with the various vaccines, treatments, whatever is there, people are still facing so much of loss during this time.
And it is at this time of crisis that Bhagavan Sundareshwara has come down to planet Earth with such extreme compassion for humanity. And he states, O bound souls, listen intensely. Your impossibility and irresponsibility made you surrender yourself to the delusion. Cognize the ultimate truth. Sundareshwara Paramashiva, I exist. Sundareshwara Paramashiva, I exist. The moment you remember me, call me, I am here for you.
Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva is the greatest and most unique manifestation of Paramashiva as the complete manifestation. He assumes the physical, subtle, light bodies as and when he wants, plays with all the physical reality, and corrects, alters, intervenes, influences, changes, adds, removes, deletes anything in this physical plane as he likes without even a reason, just for fun.
And sometimes they manifest as Meenakshi and Sundareshwara as two bodies and one being, and sometimes both in one body. So that is the reason all his manifestations, all Bhagavan Sundareshwara's manifestations, are plays and is called the Tiruvilayadu, the Leelas.
And due to his causeless and limitless compassion, Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva is manifesting in all his glory as the Purna Avatar through this being, Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam, as the Nijavatara.
And from the Shuddhadvaita Sayujya Samadhi space, Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuran will be manifesting through this supreme manifestation as Bhagavan Sundareshwara, and will be giving us the darshan and blessing us and showering boons on all of us as part of his divine leelas.
Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself has come down in the form of the Supreme Consciousness of Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, as Swami suggests to continue his legacy and leelas.
And to continue being available to all of us and playing his divine leelas, performing miracles in the lives of all the devotees, attending to our prayers and continuing the legacy as the ruler of the whole Madurai Shyamala Pita Savignapitam, Bhagavan Sundareshwara has come down as the 293rd Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam as the supreme point of Hinduism to guide the whole of humanity.
And when you have the darshan, the Sundareshwara Paramashiva Sayujya Samadhi darshan, you witness your neurons mirror that of the avatar. The mirror neurons activate and process all the observed movements or information of the avatar just by seeing. So our entire body, silently and without movement, recreates what is happening distances far away, experiencing the superconscious energy radiated by the avatar. As an effect of the mirroring neurons, all the powerful cognitions and powers of Bhagavan Sundareshwara are heard inside of you.
And if you just exhale intensely whatever you have, Paramashiva will inhale in you, and that is the God equation. So there is nothing more powerful than the power manifestation science. It is the most exciting and spiritual science. When you decide to manifest powers again and again and again, you know Paramashiva is within you and he is manifesting. You fall in love with Paramashiva every minute. And if he manifests, you know that he is real and he is manifesting. And even if you don't manifest what you declared, you will manifest the jnana and vijnana, the knowledge and understanding. And the possibilities and powers of Paramashiva will manifest in all of us.
let's understand who is the supreme concept of Hinduism. The supreme concept of
So the
Hinduism,
supreme point of Hinduism,
divine holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the 293rd Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasa Shamala, the very enlightenment ecosystem created by Bhagavan Buddha and Devi Meenakshi thousands of years ago. And the supreme concept of Hinduism is the reviver of Kailasa, a macrocosmic ancient enlightened civilization. The supreme concept of Hinduism is the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva as per Hinduism, and is recognized by his predecessors who are enlightened masters and adepts. The supreme concept of Hinduism has made the science of power manifestation, yoga, and temple-based universities as a lifestyle for humanity.
and the supreme point of Hinduism is ordained as the 233rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kanchi Kailash Sarvamapita Uttamde Mandala Adinam, the incumbent emperor of Surya Vamsha Saranga Samrajyam, in the present 293rd Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailas Shyamala Pita Sarvamapita, and the breath of the Mahanirvani Akada, which is the largest apex monastic order.
So here you can see the photos of the young supreme concept of Hinduism at the age of just 9 years old, when he was ordained as the 233rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Kanchi Kailasa Sarvamapita.
And here you can see the supreme point of Hinduism inaugurating and giving life to the deities. So, as the incumbent emperor of Surya Vamsha Samrajyam, supreme point of Hinduism is blessing and doing abhishekam for the deities to inaugurate the deities.
Here you can see the supreme concept of Hinduism being coronated as emperor of the Surya Vamsha Samrajyam, and the grand procession that went along with that.
And here you all can see the supreme point of Hinduism being coronated as the 293rd Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailas Shyamala Pita Sarvamapita.
And here are the photos of the supreme concept of Hinduism being coronated as the Mahanirvani, but the largest apex monastic order.
And the supreme point of Hinduism is also the 1008th Acharya Mahamandaleshwar of the Attalakadu, and the present 23rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Dharmamukti Swargapuramadiram, and is elected as the supreme point of Hinduism by a congregation of over 1,000 Hindu leaders.
Here you can see some of the photos of the supreme concept of Hinduism being recognized by other leaders of Hinduism.
The supreme point of Hinduism is also revered as a teacher of Hinduism, the most prolific, most viewed, read, and watched. He has authored 300 books and 10,000 articles in 3 different languages, which are English, Tamil, and Sanskrit. And these have been translated into 50 languages with over 1,000 titles. And over 20 million copies of these books and articles have been sold, read, and downloaded by millions around the world. The supreme point of Hinduism has also given over 10,000 hours of discourses for humanity, and reaching and enriching over 1 billion lives virtually, and is respected as a commentator of all sacred scriptures such as Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Shiva Sutras, Brahma Sutras, Yoga Sutras, Ashtavakra Gitas, Jain Sutras, and many more.
The supreme concept of Hinduism is honored as leader of Hinduism, the most awarded internationally recognized Hindu leader, is the reviver of 108 ancient Hindu sampradayas, including the Rudrakanyas, Rudras, Rishis, Rishikas, Bhairavas, Bhairavis, and Sanyas, and is the establisher of the largest Hindu university, Kailasa's Nithyananda Hindu University in the world, with satellite campuses in 150 countries. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the establisher of 1,000 plus Kailasa ecosystems, and is the founder and reviver of over 100 Tirthas. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the collector of the largest Hindu library with over 1 million books, 1 million palm leaf scriptures, and over 20 million digital books.
And here you can see the spiritual de facto embassies established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So you can see 22 Hindu universities, 186 extended campuses of the Nithyananda Hindu University, 242 Nithyananda Gurukuls, 22 Nithyananda Jnanalayas, the library, 38 temple monastery complexes, 2,175 Paramashivoham shakas, 1,898 youth centers, 19 Hindu kingdoms, the Sarvagna 25 e-Kailasas, 1,898 ASP centers, 120 temples, 5,334 healing centers, 22 food banks, 12 animal shelters, 34 satsang temples, 418 paduka mandirs, and 2,175 satsang centers. And here you can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's peace works cover over 100,000 kilometers and gifts the science of healing to human settlements and much more. So here you can see throughout the years just few of the yatras that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has done, peace walks, and how he has enriched the world. And he is going on, he is continuing to do these contributions to the world.
Bhagavan Sundareshwara Parameshwara is the manifestation of the beauty of the cosmos in flesh and bone. Sundareshwara is the embodiment of super consciousness expressed in the human body, playing with all of this, are the most blessed beings in earth. Bhagavan Sundareshwara through Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, through our very own Guru himself.
And Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parabhuru, as the complete manifestation of Paramashiva, assumes the physical and subtle and light bodies as and when he wants, as his divine manifestations. And he plays with all the physical realities and corrects, alters, intervenes, influences, changes, adds, removes, deletes anything in the physical plane as he likes without even a reason.
Irena Sundareshwara Parameshwara is the greatest, unique, and complete manifestation of Parameshwara.
And Sundareshwara is the embodiment of superconsciousness expressed in the human body, playing with all his glory. And he came down in the most handsome form to marry Devi Meenakshi, and administer the city of Madurai.
The kingdom of Madurai, known as the Kailas, known as the Shamala Pita Sarvagya, is the oldest Hindu state and enlightenment ecosystem that was established by Paramashiva. The kingdom of Madurai was later revived by Bhagavan Sundareshwara and Devi Meenakshi, who, as the deities and incarnates of Paramashiva and Parashakti, rules over Madurai and revives the foundation pillars of the enlightenment ecosystem as the highest living stream of spiritual sciences.
And to ensure that this tradition continues to elevate humanity for millennia, they enthroned their direct representatives and their divine energies in the form of a continuing lineage of living masters, the Guru Mahasannidhanams, and gave them the responsibility to train and groom the kings and in administration, constitution, and governance, acting as regents. And they also performed the spiritual initiations on the kings and the citizens of the kingdom, imparting the enlightenment science to every one of them.
Yes, and here you can see Devi Meenakshi and Bhagwan Sundareshwara were the first in this lineage. And of course, it was Tirunjana Sambandar who revived this whole Kailasa and this Shamala Pita Sarvagya, and now we have the 1008 incarnation of Paramashiva once again coming down to revive this whole enlightenment ecosystem.
And beautifully, there is a Shastra Pramana which says that this supreme discipline of Adi Shaiva tradition has been coming down through the continuous lineage of the Guru disciple Adi Shaiva Guru Parampara from time immemorial. This has been formulated for the attainment of complete liberation from the repeated phenomenon of birth and death. This is supreme in its kind and concerned with the ultimate benefit of all the souls.
The Kailasa and the Shamala Pita Sarvagya concepts have been systematically carried over in an unbroken progression from the ages. The chosen emissaries of Lord Paramashiva and Devi Meenakshi are the Guru Mahasannidhanams, the pontiffs of Kailasa and the Shamala Pita Sarvagya, and are the direct representatives of these Mahasannidhanams.
And on the 27th of April 2012, Srila Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Paramacharya Swamigal was formally appointed as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasa of the Shyamala Pita Sarvagya, and is the lawful successor, descendant, and inheritor, invested with all the power, duties, obligations to perform the rituals, spiritual, and religious and customary rites vested in the Kailasa of the Shyamala Pita Sarvagya, and has been reviving its spiritual, religious, and linguistic epicenters to its original glory.
Let us now watch a short video about the history of the Kailasa and the Shamala Pita Sarvagya, the very Adina, the very enlightened ecosystem created by Bhagwan Sundareshwara and Meenakshi.
The ancient temple town of Madurai in southern India boasts of a 2,500-year-old history of spirituality. Historians trace Madurai's existence back to the 3rd century BC, making it one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities of the world. Legend says that Madurai was established by the cosmic mother herself, who incarnated as Princess Meenakshi, daughter of the pious king Malayadwaja Pandian. An able queen and a fearless warrior, Meenakshi expanded her empire right up to Kailash in current China. But when she came face to face with the Lord of Kailash, Shiva himself, she recognized him as her eternal consort and dropped her arms to become Shiva's companion for life.
Along with Shiva, also known as Sundareshwara or the beautiful Lord, Meenakshi reigned over her kingdom for a glorious 166 years.
In course of time, with the rise of Jainism as a religious force, Madurai too fell to its powerful influence, and Shaivism all but vanished from the sacred kingdom where Shiva himself had once walked the earth. The renaissance of Shaivism in Madurai was the sacred task of a child incarnation, Tirunjana Sambandar, one of the 4 visionary saints of Shaiva Siddhanta tradition. The story goes that as a baby, Tirunjana Sambandar was once nourished by the milk of enlightenment from the cosmic mother herself. This child prodigy arrived in Madurai to effortlessly defeat the learned Jain monks with his wisdom, healing powers, and spiritual prowess, and restored Madurai to her beloved religion, Shaivism, by reviving ancient Madurai Adinam and the Meenakshi temple, which had fallen. Madurai Adinam is today the world's oldest living Hindu organization, with a recorded history alone spanning a glorious 1,500 years and an unbroken lineage of illustrious pontiffs to this very day. Over the centuries, Madurai Adinam has been patronized by the likes of Tipu Sultan, Robert Nobili, and the poet saint Vallalar. The pontiff of the Madurai Adinam is known by the title Guru Mahasannidhanam and inherits the responsibility of carrying forward the traditions of Tirunjana Sambandar's sacred work.
On 27th April 2012, a new era began in the history of Madurai Adinam. The 292nd Pontiff, Sri Shri Arunagiri Jnana Sambandha Desika Paramacharya Swamigal, guided by intuition and inducement by Lord Shiva, coronated a charismatic young saint as the 293rd Pontiff of the Madurai Adinam.
An accomplished yogi, a pragmatic social visionary, and an adept in mystical sciences. His Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda is revered as a divine incarnation by millions worldwide. Within weeks of his ascent to the sacred throne, he brought about sweeping changes to the Adinam, including the renovation of the ancient monastery, Annadan, free food for thousands every day, free medical camps, yoga classes, scriptural study, spiritual healing, and meditation programs. The traditional Adinam now has a website, and thousands participate in the morning worship and spiritual talks via live streaming and two-way video conferencing. Vast properties belonging to the Adinam are being reclaimed from illegal encroachment. Its numerous temples are being restored to sanctity, and the neighboring villages are being adopted, with basic amenities, education, and medical care being provided for all. His Holiness dreams of an authentic Vedic Renaissance, for which India has already waited too long.
Here, I take the commitment of making Madurai Adinam as an international religious organization. We will fulfill all the responsibilities of Madurai Adinam, make Hindu tradition, Saiva tradition alive, revived, lived, celebrated all over the world.
With a brand new pontiff at its helm, Madurai Adinam promises to be more than just another traditional monastery, as a whole generation turns to spirituality for answers. The changes at Madurai Adinam mirror the changing role of spiritual organizations today as power centers and guiding forces, forging the enlightened government of the new world.
The beautiful history of the Kailakwanata Shamana Pita Satyapitham by the Supreme Concept of Hinduism itself. Today, for all of humanity, out of the billions of people on planet Earth, we are the most blessed people. For us, Sundareshwara is not just a history, he is a happening. Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself has come down again in the form of the Supreme Concept of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Maha Sanidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, as Swamiji, the 1008 incarnation of Paramashiva, to revive Hinduism once again and to continue being available to all of us, playing his divine leelas, performing miracles in the lives of devotees, attending to our prayers, and continuing the legacy as the ruler of the whole Madre Shamanavita Sattva Kingdom, as the 293rd Jagat Guru Maha Sanidhanam of the and Supreme Concept of Hinduism, guiding the whole of humanity.
And Paramashiva actually assumed the physical body 11 times in Madurai just to perform his divine leelas. And each divine action became a divine energy and became an independent entity. So if you connect with that energy, he gives you the same blessing. So understand that Sundareshwara is the energy of Leela, playfulness. So now, let us look at one of the Leelas of Bhagavan Sundareshwara in this next segment, which is the Leela of healing the Pandyan king's fever. So Sundareshwara has a set of 64 Leelas, which Bhagavan Paramashiva, the form of Sundareshwara, performed. Out of that, today we will be looking at one of them.
And the Tiruvallayadu Puranam is a collection of the 16th century Shaiva devotional epic stories by Paramjyoti Munivar. And they describe the actions of Bhagavan Paramashiva on earth in a number of guises to test his devotees. So each of Sundareshwara's dimensions are recorded as one of his leelas. So each leela is not just one single time that Bhagavan Sundareshwara has manifested, but rather one dimension of Bhagavan Sundareshwara, which is why there's only 64, but there are many, many more leelas of Bhagavan Sundareshwara. In the Vedic tradition, we have 64 different arts. Each leader, a complete being, has to master these 64 arts. In that, even horse riding is one. Astrology, horse riding, the mastery in medicine, mastery in surgery, mastery in painting, the mastery of dance. Each leela of Sundareshwara, it proves his mastery on each art. There was never ever such an amazing imagination or visualization of the ultimate without reducing the Ananta Kalyana Gunas into the human level.
Yes, where Supreme Point of Hinduism speaks about the Shiva Leelas.
Let us start today's satsang in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Jnanakarma Sannyasa Yoga, 32nd verse.
एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः विताथा ब्रह्मणो मुखे कर्मजान् विद्धितान् सर्वान् एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे
Evam Bahu.
Speaks about Shiva Leelas, and you can watch this video, watch just the first verse of this mantra, but you can watch the entire video on YouTube. It is available for each and every one of you. So you are welcome to watch that video on your own.
Yes, so let us learn who are the Nayanmars. So the Nayanars or the Nayanmars were a group of 63 saints living in Tamil Nadu during the 3rd to the 8th century CE who were devoted to Paramashiva. And the list of Nayanmars was initially compiled by Sundara, who is Sundaramurti Nayanar, in his poem Tirutonda Togai, and he sings in 11 verses the names of the Nayanar saints up to Kare Kalamaya, and refers to himself as the servant of servants. And the list goes into the detail of the lives of the saints, which were described in detail in the works such as Devaram.
Paramashiva assumed physical body 11 times in Mother Day just to perform his divine love. Each action divine energy performs becomes independent. If you connect with that energy, he gives you the same blessing. So understand, Sundareshwara is the energy of Leela, playfulness. The best way to connect with Sri Sundareshwara Paramashiva is through the Leela Dhyana. Today, let us meditate on the 60-second Leela, the Shiva Leela, the Narva, Pandya Naku, Varam Padalam, the Leela of healing of the Pandyan King's fever.
So, in the clan of Arimardana Pandya king, a king who was known for his magnanimity and who stood tall due to his widespread fame, was born with hunchback. Hence, people called him as Kun Pandyan, Pandya king, the hunchback.
And though the king Kunbandian took birth in the Pandya clan, which has deep devotion for Paramashiva, due to the ill effect of his long association with the summoners, the people who used misunderstood ideas of Jainism to spread violence, he had not only fallen in the trap, but had received the initiation to what to do. It is difficult to revert from the association with wicked people.
And in a clan consisting of great devotees of Paramashiva, which was quite sincere and integrated in observing the truths revealed in the Vedas and performing the duties prescribed in the Vedas without any hindrance, a boy named Jnana Sambandha was born.
And goddess Parvati herself protected the child by feeding her breast milk, who was once struggling without his biological mother. After this incident, people are addressing the child as Jnana Sambandha, the Jnana Puranam, as the child got enlightened at the childhood itself by the grace of goddess Parvati.
And the child, who was the pride of the Brahmin community, was the reincarnation of Lord Muruga. During the childhood itself, he learned all the scriptures and kept the Upanishads, Hindu scriptures which reveal the underlying truths, as the testimony. He clearly expressed Shiva.
And Jnana Sambandha being the embodiment of the tattvas like sacred ash, Rudraksh, and the Tarakshara mantra, the Sarvanabhava of Lord Muruga, was considered as an enlightened being. And some people worshipped him as a result of their good deeds in their past births and won over the evil attacks of the Kali Yuga.
And while the king Kunpandian's clan was surrounded by the harmful darkness of ignorance due to the preaching of the Samana Acharyas, the queen and the minister remained deeply devoted to Paramashiva, who adorned his native locks with the crescent moon.
And both the queen and the minister, who had incomparable and deep devotion to the lotus feet of Jnanasambandha, explained to him about the position of the king and tried to save the king, who was drowned in the heat of the dilapidated well in deep ignorance.
And once King Kunvandian was attacked by extremely high fever and was struggling, taken by the Samana acharyas of the king to heal the king were unsuccessful.
At that time, for the sake of the king's health, the queen herself very much pleaded with Jnanasambandha, the enlightened master.
And the enlightened master Jnanasambandha was entering the king's palace, remembered the form of Lord Shiva, who always remained cool due to the oozing out of the nectar from the crescent moon adorning his crown, and meditated upon the sacred truth, Shivoham, I am Shiva, in his inner space for a moment, and then he looked at the king, who was affected by the heat of high fever. He showed his grace on the king through his eyes.
Saint Jnanasambandha was established in the state of enlightenment, which is beyond all the rules and regulations of the ashrama dharma, the duties of the stages of life as per Sanatana Siddha. Smeared the sacred ash on the forehead of the king as a result of the good deeds performed by the king in his previous birth. He also applied the sacred ash on the chest of the king with the right hand, which had worshipped the divine lotus feet of Lord Paramashivoham. When applying the sacred ash, Jnanasambandha also sang the divine and healing verses.
And on receiving the sacred touch of the divine hands of Jnanasambandha, which is described in the Rudram, the Vedic chant of Lord Shiva, as the most auspicious, the most holy, and the healing medicine of the three worlds, the king got rid of the high fever instantly.
As the heat existing in the stomach was spreading all over the body, the king was suffering. When the king got rid of that suffering, he became very happy. The queen too became happy about the complete healing of the king. She rejoiced that not only the physical heat of the king got healed, but the religious heat of the summoners, the people who misunderstood the ideas of Jainism and used it to spread violence, were also put off in the king's life.
And the physical heat, which got removed from the king's body by the graceful eyes of Jnanasambandha, got doubly evolved in the hearts of the Jain monks, the samanas who had misunderstood Jainism to spread violence.
In 80,000 people, summoners who misunderstood Jainism, were living in the 8 mountains all over the earth. They were adept in many various forms of pranayama. When they got defeated by Jnanasambandha while curing the physical illness of the king, the wandering devotee of Lord Shiva, they decided to win over him by debating with him. Hence, all of them gathered in Madurai.
And Jnanasambandha was an expert in various fields like Vyakarana, Mimamsa, and Tarka, and was well versed in all the philosophies of Upanishads. The moment the summoners approached him to start their debate, they got stuck mentally and became speechless.
The Vedic religion is proved categorically right by the justifications of the philosophy like Mimamsa Shastra and is well established by the inquiries of Tarka Shastra, and leaving aside all the valuable justifications, the summoners, those who misunderstood Jainism, wanted to win over Jnanasamudra just by their mere faith.
And a continuation of this story was when Bhagwan Sundareshwara through Jnanasamudra healed even the hunchback of the king. So till now we saw how the king's fever was healed and how his high fever was healed. Let us see how his hunchback was healed. So Kun Pandyan, the king with the hunchback, was a great king, and he had actually conquered the Cheran and Cholan kingdoms. And he married Mangayar Karsi. And Pandyan was deeply involved in the Jain religion, as all of us just saw. And he spoke low of the Shaiva tradition. But Mangayar Karsi, who was a great lady and woman, and the stature of the stage remained as a Shaivite. And during this period, people belonging to the Jain sect, the Samana Matam in Tamil, entered into Madurai and settled down there. And King Nedumaran got attracted towards the Jain sect and announced he announced an order that all his citizens should follow the Jain sect. And he gave a shock to his wife and his minister Kulachiyar, but they did not have the courage to talk to him on this matter with the great king, and people were afraid to come to the Meenakshi Amman temple.
The queen decided to pray to Lord Sundareshwara and talk to him on the worst state of the affairs. She took the minister along with her to the temple and prayed to God. At that moment, a Brahmin came inside the shrine. The Brahmin saluted the queen and said, "O queen, I am residing in the Chola country. I am on my visit to various divine places. I came here thinking of worshipping Lord Sundareshwara of Madurai. I inquired with the people here as to why no one is there in this temple. I became sad on hearing that citizens are now following the misunderstood Jain tradition, and hence no one is visiting this temple." The queen immediately wrote a letter and said, "O Brahmin, somehow or another, handed over this letter to him, asking him to visit the Madurai." The Brahmin, who came to know that he is staying at the Vedarai, went there.
And immediately after reading the manuscript, Samandar decided to visit Madurai. And now the Jains, I, the one who was affected by them, know about Jainism. Further, the planetary positions are not conducive for journey. Please start on auspicious day. Samandar replied to him, "O Lord, we are slaves of Paramashiva. When Paramashiva is there behind us, what these planets can do?" He immediately sang the song, "Very Toli Pangan, Vidamunda Kandan, Nala Vinay Kadavi." And even today, those who feel that they will be affected by the adverse positions of planets in their birth chart sing this song. And without bothering about planets, Samandar immediately left for Madurai. Mangayar Karsi felt very happy on the arrival of Jnanasamudra. But the Jain monks, the summoners, got angry and decided to burn the house to kill Samandar. Samandar got infuriated and immediately sang a collection of songs, the Padikams, beginning with the lines, "Chayenne Tiruvalavai Nevia."
And Saman then went to see the Pandyan king On hearing this, those who misunderstood Jainism told the king, "O king, this Samandar will not be able to cure this disease. We will cure it now." In just 5 minutes, the king shouted, "Oh, Jain, just remain aloof. Let Samandar only give me the treatment." Samandar said, "I do not want any other thing. Just bring some ash from the kitchen of the temple." The ash was brought. Samandar make the king understand that your consciousness does not need to shrink. Because of this idea, everything is going to become ash. Listen, by your consciousness is beyond anything. But your consciousness is beyond anything. Initiating him into the tattva of life and giving ash as a prasada. When the tattva started spreading, expanding in Poon Pandya's consciousness, the shrinking body stood up. The hunchback was reversed and cured, and he expanded and became Nedumaran Nayanar.
So now let us see how Sundareshwara Paramashiva has come down as the Supreme Lord of Hinduism. So Jnana Samandar, who was an embodiment of Meenakshi and Sundareshwara, healed Poon Pandyan. And today, for all of humanity, the Supreme Point of Hinduism has come down. Bhagavan Sundareshwara has come down in the form of the Supreme Point of Hinduism. And out of billions of people on planet Earth, we are the most blessed people. As for us, Sundareshwara is not a history, but a happening. So Sundareshwara himself has come down again in the form of the Supreme Point of Hinduism. Jagadguru Mahasanidanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, just to continue his legacy and leelas, to continue being available to all of us and playing his divine leelas, performing miracles in the lives of all the devotees, attending to our prayers and continuing the legacy as the ruler of Madurai, Shyamala Pita Sarvapeetam. He has come down as the 293rd Jagadguru Mahasanidanam and as the Supreme Point of Hinduism to guide the whole of humanity.
And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, being revered as an incarnation of Paramashiva at a very young age, was birthed by various enlightened beings, Siddhas, yogis, Brahma yoginis, and many other adepts to revive these sciences, the initiations and knowledge repositories for billions to manifest the super consciousness. Vedanta, Tantra, and Shividya, yoga and yogic sciences, mantra, shastra, siddha vidya, science of Aushadha, Advaita, and Bhakti yoga, Paramashiva Jnana and Paramashiva Jnana.
And in the Vedic tradition, in Hinduism, we have many sciences. And one of the most ancient sciences is the Nadi readings. The Nadi is an ancient science of Akashic readings in Hinduism, and it was established by Paramashiva in the form of Lord Vaidishvara, the Lord of Healing. And these texts are recorded and organized by Agastya Maharishi. And it is an important aspect of recognizing the happenings of superconscious mutants, incarnations, and enlightened beings in Hinduism who have come down on planet Earth. And this age-old science also predicts about the advent of the Supreme Point of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam. So let us look at the Supreme Point of Hinduism's Nadi reading.
And Sundareshwara Paramashiva has once again come down as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and according to the Nadi readings of Swami himself, states that of the avatar foretold by the Rishi Agastya in Jivanadi, states that Nithyananda Sangha, please carefully listen completely to the words, for Shiva has come in the form of Nithyananda to protect this world. As the result of the penance of many crores, Paramashiva has incarnated as
And the next Nadi reading also says, by his teachings, even many siddhas, sinners, became virtuous, many crores became blissful. Just by thinking about him, they achieve bliss. The people who have experienced the truth of bliss followed him.
All the life forms in the world are his light. He considers all the people of this world as his people, his children. He lives as a Jagat Guru, as pure Shiva, and Sadashiva as the sun and the moon.
And official celebrations were done, and there was a public declaration of the Supreme Point of Hinduism as the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva to the world, and celebrating the manifestation of Paramashiva on planet Earth through the Supreme Point of Hinduism.
Yoga Pattabhisheka, the coronation of the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva in 1994, celebrating the manifestation of Paramashiva on planet Earth through the Supreme Pontiff of the Mataji Vibhutananda Puri, began the preparations for coronating the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the next successor and declaring him as the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva. Through this occasion and official letter of initiation, adopted him as her only disciple and successor in the Arunachala lineage, coronating and conferring upon him the title Brahmasukhi. His gurus thus coronated him when he was 16 years of age, immediately after which the avatar commenced the expansion of the work of Kailasa. This thus 26 years of public life till date, till the year 2020. Hence the avatar stepped out of Tiruvannamalai the very next year in 1995, which is the same year his gurus left their body. The purpose of their entire life was complete.
And so many adepts, yogis, siddhas, siddhapurushas, and enlightened beings have recognized and revered Swamiji as the avatar of Paramashiva. And a few months into her pregnancy, Brahma Yogini Mataji Vibhutananda Puri gave specific instructions to Anasuya Ammal, her dear friend and the mother of Sri Arunachalam, the paternal grandmother of the incarnation who was yet to be born. And obeying her commands, Anasuya Ammal took her daughter-in-law Malokanayaki, who is Swami Amma, Swamiji's mother, to receive the blessings of Pundi Mahan, a great seer revered as an incarnation of Paramashiva near Tiruvannamalai. And as Malokanayaki, Swami Amma bowed down to Pundi Mahan, he showered her with flowers and akshita, the turmeric rice, and declared to her heartily, Ammayapane Peripan, and blessing her that Paramashiva himself will be born to her as the divine mother and father to the whole cosmos, of the whole cosmos. And the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Kailasam Nithyananda Paramashivam, Sri Arunagirinath Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swami is the predecessor to the Supreme Point of Hinduism in the esteemed Guru-based tradition of the kingdom, Kailasam Dwadashanta Shyamla Pita Savimapita, since 2012. And the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam had a divine vision of Lord Shiva and Devi Meenakshi, who both instructed him to coronate the avatar as his successor, the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam.
Yes. So now that we've understood who is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and how he has been recognized, coronated as the incarnation of Paramashiva, let us now enter into the preparation for Baba Samadhi Darshan. We will be shortly entering into the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra, but before that, we will prepare ourselves for the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Let us understand the science behind the Bhava Samadhi Darshan and prepare ourselves to receive Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva through the Paramashiva Sayujya Samadhi Darshan. So, as we prepare ourselves to receive Bhagavan Sundareshwara, you can take a moment to go ahead and join as a member of Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel. And it's a very simple process. You can just go to YouTube and go to Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel, and you can click join. And once you click that button, you will be directed to several options, and you can choose whichever option suits you best. And once you choose that and become a member, you will have access to various content exclusive for members of the Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel. And you will also have access to ask your questions directly to Bhagavan Sundareshwara during the Paramashiva Sayujya Samadhi Darshan. So you can take a few moments to go ahead and do that. And you can also ask your questions via Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter as well. So on Facebook, you can go ahead and like and follow the Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda Paramashivam Facebook page. And once you have done that, you can go ahead and ask your questions under the live video of the Paramashiva Sayujya Samadhi Darshan. And your questions will surely be attended to by Bhagavan Sundareshwara. And you can also ask your questions in Instagram in the comment section of the photo. And you can also ask your questions on Twitter. You can follow @Shri Nithyananda on Twitter and ask your questions in the reply to the tweet with the hashtag #AskTheAvatar. And lastly, you can ask your questions on WhatsApp. You can go to kailasa.org and ask your questions in the WhatsApp chat box that pops up. And all of these ways are simple ways you can ask your questions and request your blessings from Bhagavan Sundareshwara. Whether he answers you directly or not, rest assured, you will surely be attended to. So now let us enter into the preparation for the Bhava Samadhi Darshan.
Yes, so let us get into the Bhava Samadhi Darshan preparations. So let us first look at a verse that comes from the Malini Vijayottara Tantra, verse 60. Katana Shakti Padatva Yadva Padavalokanat Prasadat Svaguro Samyak Prapyate Paramam Padam. And the translation for this verse is, by the enlightening teachings of the Guru Katana, by the Shakti Pada, the graceful transmission of the spiritual powers from the Guru, by looking at the sacred feet of the Guru, or by the complete loving favor of the Guru, Prasad, the ultimate goal in space, Paramam Padam, is attained.
And the Bhava Samadhi Darshan is not an event in space and time. Rather, darshan happens at the moment when we are lifted out of space and time. During the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, our neurons mirror that of the
And Bhava is defined as directing and activating the emotional and spiritual energy that is created through meditation on the avatar.
The brain neurons mirror, activate, and process all the observed movements or information of the avatar just by seeing and without the physical act of imitation.
So that basically is our entire body can silently and without movement recreate what is happening at distances far away, experiencing the subconscious energy radiated by the avatar.
The science of the Bhavasmadhi Darshan knows no distance, a phenomenon modern science is just discovering in terms as quantum tunneling.
And our thoughts per second reduces significantly during the Bhavasmadhi darshan, and we relax into the space beyond thoughts, thoughtlessness, becoming mentally at ease and coexisting in coexisting dimensions beyond duality. So we and the divine become one, unconditioned by the parameters of time and space.
So let us understand the concept of quantum tunneling. It is the probability of a quantum particle like an electron with less kinetic energy to cross over the potential energy of an energy barrier. An electron acts both as a wave and a particle. So imagine a scenario when what happens when an electron with less kinetic energy is approaching a hill. Will the electron be able to cross over the potential energy of the hill, the peak of that hill? As a particle, the electron will require higher kinetic energy to cross over the potential energy of the hill, or it will roll back. However, as a wave, the electron has the ability to pass through by propagating itself through the hill and going to the other side.
So that is the science behind quantum tunneling. And this same science is imposed on people who witness the Bhavasmadhi darshan. So this is because our neurons are able to mirror the neurons of the divine immediately. And through quantum tunneling, we are able to travel through the divine energy and mirror the exact same neurons. So when you witness and have the darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara, you will be able to experience the powerful cognitions, the powerfulness, and the power manifestation of Bhagavan Sundareshwara.
Let us now understand the science of the Bhavasmadhi darshan.
So Bhagavan Krishna beautifully describes, he says, so when once he saw his own externals reflected in a jewel wall, so he was amazed and said, how unprecedented and astonishing is this deep and indescribable sweetness of mine. Alas, when I see it, even I become greedy to enjoy its sweetness. Just like Radhika, when I see my own sweetness in the mirror, I become eager to taste it, but I can't. After due consideration, I find that the only way to relish this sweetness is through the constitution of Sri Radhika.
The Bhavasmadhi darshan is the science of the Nityavatara manifesting Paramashiva, the consciousness, the formless, expressing the being of Paramashiva through the Divya Sharira, the light body, and manifesting as the Nijavatara, the physical form, the embodied form, for us to experience Paramashiva.
So here you can all now see an example of how Devi Parashakti expresses through the being of Rajarajeshwari and manifests as the Nijavatara, the physical form to Devi.
And Bhagavan Paramashiva expresses through the being of Subramanya and manifests as the Nijavatara, the physical form of Bhagavan Buddha.
And Bhagavan Paramashiva expresses the being of Aranagiri Yogeshwara and manifests as the Nijavatara through the supreme form of Hinduism, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam.
And Bhagavan Parandama expresses the being of Mahavishnu and manifests as the Nijavatara, the physical form of Bhagavan Venkateshwara.
And the Archavatar, the deity, reflects the consciousness and the manifestation of the being of the superconscious energy. But unfortunately, human beings are not mature enough to receive the higher level experiences from the Archavatar directly. And so the avatar, the physical embodied form, comes down to bridge the gap and create an experience of superconscious energy in all of us.
So when we have the darshan of the Nijavatara manifesting beings of various dimensions of Paramashiva, the auspicious components and the powerfulness of those dimensions of Paramashiva are awakened in each of us.
So now let's see the dimensions of Paramashiva manifesting in Nijavatara for us to experience the Bhava Samadhi darshan.
The Bhava Samadhi darshan is the direct experience of causeless bliss. During the Bhava Samadhi darshan, our being comes alive and celebrates with the energy of existence.
And their very muscles learn to imbibe and radiate Paramashiva. So the Bhava Samadhi darshan is like a window to the infinite expanse of consciousness. And it allows us to glimpse the formless in a way that we can understand.
Even without much effort from ourselves, our very biomemory awakens to the space of Paramashiva, the ultimate consciousness during the Bhava Samadhi darshan.
And when you have a glimpse of the avatar or an enlightened being, just having a glimpse of that being can cleanse the karmas of lifetimes and create a deep lasting transformation in all of us.
Gratitude enables the reflection of consciousness on all levels, the physical, psychological, and ultimately the conscious level. Darshan meditation as a preparation helps us to fall into the space of gratitude. And it is during that time we drop the conscious resolution, the Satya Sankalpa of anything we want or need in our life. Be ready to reflect the consciousness of Paramashiva. That is all you need to manifest the best for your life and lives of the people around you.
And the right context to have when you receive the darshan is that I know you are the source of everything. You are everything, and you are in the embodied form of the supreme form of Hinduism, and you are in this body. You are the source for both. Let me connect with you. Let you reveal yourself to me. Let me be in the Bhava Samadhi with you.
So now let's take a few moments to set up our Panchopacharic list and prepare ourselves for the Paramashivoham mantra. So you can go ahead and set up sandalwood paste or powder, flowers, incense, lamp, and food offering. Go ahead and get ready for the Paramashivoham mantra before we have the live darshan of Bhagavan Sudareshwara. You can also take a few moments to offer your gratitude to Bhagavan Sudareshwara through the super chat and super sticker on YouTube. Very simple way to just show your love and gratitude for Bhagavan Sudareshwara happening in your life. So use that. And now we'll be entering into the Paramashivoham
We welcome all the viewers back. As all of us are preparing for Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva Sahaja Samadhi Darshan, let us all get ready. Let's all get ready to receive the darshan. Let's all get ready to behold Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva. And by chanting of the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has blessed Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra as a Diksha initiation, which encompasses the energy of his Shaktis and transmits that to the receiver. Anyone to whom this mantra is chanted from the space of oneness and deep restful awareness is bestowed with health and well-being, wealth, abundance and prosperity, love and fulfilling relationships, enormous growth and success in business, job and finances. And that person is blessed with success in his career, relationships, in business and job. And a complete and a fulfilled life manifests without any types of doshas, sins, evil eyes, obstacles, leading to a long, healthy and a blissful life. With the grace and blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, today Kailasa's Department of Human Services and Kailasa's Department of Religion and Worship is offering the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra prayer service on behalf of each and every one of you for the following benefits. We are offering the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra for the healing of health issues, for the healing of your psychological issues and stress and anxiety, for you to be healed out of all of your addictions, for you to move out of depressions, for you to move out of your pain patterns, for you to have improved career, for you to heal your relationships with spouse, family and profession, for you to have a breakthrough in the wealth dimension, for all the children who are affected during the pandemic to be completely protected, for you to have the protection from the natural disasters, protection from lost wages and income, for you to be able to find solution to any problem, for you to have breakthrough in the creativity dimension, for you to move out of your debts, for you to experience fulfillment, for you to experience increased energy and vitality, for you to have healing from any insecurities, and for you to have protection from any direct or indirect effects of the pandemic, for the leadership consciousness to be awakened in you, for the healing from any genetic or inherited disorder to happen in you, for you to experience completion in your muscle memory and biomemory. Let us all now enter into the Paramashiva Dhyana Mantra.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Hrim Nithyanandaya Namaha. Om Ham Hum Shivaya Namaha. Om Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna Rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami.
I surrender to the Guru, who is eternal bliss, the restorer of supreme happiness, the one who is the embodiment of wisdom, who is beyond duality, who is omnipresent, to whom the supreme goal is giving the enlightenment experience, who is eternal, pure and unshakable, who is the silent spectator of all thought processes, who is beyond emotions, who is without the three qualities called as Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. You will not be entering into the conscious resolution. When you make a conscious resolution in the presence of the avatar, the power of the Sankalpa itself will deliver the experience and manifest your reality.
Om Mamopata Samasta Duridakshaya Dwara Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Prityartham.
This conscious resolution today for destroying all my karmas and sins, and in order to please Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Asya Devadevasya Mahadevasya Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayakasya.
Who is the God of all gods? Who is the greatest of gods? The Lord of the universes and multiverses, and who is the Lord of the cosmos?
सकल जगत् सृष्टि स्थिति संहार तिरोभाव अनुग्रहाख्य पंचकृत्य परायणस्य
One who does the five cosmic actions of creation, sustenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and liberation.
आदिमध्यान्तरहितस्य अप्रमेय पराक्रमस्य तत्त्वार्थ गोचरस्य
One who is the beginning, middle, and end, the one who is immeasurable.
अकार उकार मकारात्मक प्रणवात्मकस्य वृषभारूढस्य महादेवस्य कामिकादिवातुलान्त महातन्त्ररूपस्य सकलनिगमागमस्वरूपस्य शुद्धाद्वैत शैव स्वरूपस्य नित्यानंद पदस्थस्य नित्यानंद स्वरूपस्य शुद्ध सच्चिदानंद विग्रहस्य रूपारूपातीतस्य सकल निष्कल स्वरूपस्य नित्य निरंजन निरामय निर्विकार अखंडादिशेषणस्य श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवस्य श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिव अवतार भूतस्य सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपस्य भगवतः श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवस्य च प्रीत्यर्थं शुभे शोभने मुहूर्ते अद्य ब्रह्मणः द्वितीय परार्धे श्री श्वेतवराह कल्पे अष्टाविंशतितमे नित्ययुगे प्रथमे पादे जम्बोद्वीपे भारतवर्षे भरतखण्डे मेरोः दक्षिणे पार्श्वे शकाब्दे अस्मिन् वर्तमाने व्यवहारिके प्रभवादीनां षष्ट्याः संवत्सराणां मध्ये शुभलाभ संवत्सरे शुभायने शुभऋतौ शुभमासे शुभपक्षे शुभतिथौ शुभवासरयुक्तायां शुभनक्षत्र शुभयोग शुभकरण एवं गुणविशेषेण विशिष्टायाम् अस्यां शुभतिथौ
During this auspicious time, during the second half of the lifetime of Lord Brahma, during the Kalpa called Shvetavaraha, during the regime of Vaivasvata Manu, during the first quarter of the Yuga called Nitya Yuga, in the highland called Rangu, in the continent called Bharata Varsha, in the subcontinent called Bharata Khanda, in the southern side of Mount Meru, in the Shaka era, during the auspicious year, which is one of the set of 60 years, which is in practice of which Prabhava is the first year, in this auspicious Ayana, in this auspicious season, in this auspicious month, in this auspicious Paksha, which is the phase of the moon, on this auspicious Tithi, which is the number of the days from the new moon or the full moon, on this auspicious day, during the auspicious Nakshatra, the Vedic star, during the auspicious Yoga and auspicious Karana, during such an auspicious moment.
आदिकैलासे कल्पवृक्षस्य अधः नित्यानन्दनगरे स्मृतस्मृतानां मुक्तिदायके महाक्षेत्रे. Now, we request all the participants, whether you're offering this mantra for yourself or for someone else. If you are offering for a male, kindly chant the male names now. Namadheyasya.
You know, request all the participants, whether you're offering for yourself or for someone else. If you're offering for a female, please chant the names of the female participants now.
Namyaha cha yajamanaanaam avayoho sahakutumbhaanaam bandhuvargaanaam dayadivargaanaam mitravargaanaam sodaravargaanaam samesham.
Participants who stand me with their families, relatives, inheritors, friends, brothers, and everyone.
सर्वाभीष्ट सिद्ध्यर्थं सर्वमंगलवाप्त्यर्थं उत्तरोत्तरणवच्छिन्न स्थिरलक्ष्मी प्राप्त्यर्थं.
Always let there be all types of good and auspiciousness. Always let there be unbroken flow and steady flow of abundance, prosperity, and wealth.
कुटुम्बे सर्वदा सन्मंगल प्राप्त्यर्थं अन्योन्य प्रेम विद्यर्थं. कुटुम्बे सर्वेषां सर्वाभीष्ट सिद्ध्यर्थं चिन्तित मनोरथवाप्त्यर्थं.
Let the family always have all kinds of auspiciousness and anything which is desired be fulfilled.
समेषाम् आधिर्व्याधिनिवृत्त्यर्थं समेषां शिरादिपादपर्यन्तं विद्यमानानां समेषु अङ्गेषु जनितजनिष्यमान सकलविधनानाविधरोगाणां व्यपोहार्थं तद्वारा रोगदृढगात्रवपुः सिद्ध्यर्थम्.
And all the chronic diseases be healed, with all kinds of diseases and disorders in the body, starting from head till toe, which has occurred or which is yet to occur in the various parts of the body, be healed. Let a strong, diseaseless, healthy, handsome, and graceful body be obtained.
समेषां परैकतृभिश्च कृतकरिष्यमान सकलविध मन्त्र तन्त्र यन्त्र विषचूर्णाभिचार स्तम्भन मारण उच्चाटन विद्वेषण वशीकरणादि मान्त्रिक प्रयोगेभ्यः रक्षण प्राप्त्यर्थं तद्वारा दृढगात्रवपुः सिद्ध्यर्थम्.
Protection be obtained from all evil effects of acts performed by people either in the past or yet to be performed in the future, through the use of mantras, tantras, yantras, poisonous spells, employing spells for malevolent purposes like making a person immobile, killing a person through vomiting and diarrhea, upsetting and ruining the health, poisoning, hypnotizing, etc.
अपमृत्यु दोष निवृत्त्यर्थं काल मृत्यु अकाल मृत्यु दुर्मृत्यु निवृत्त्यर्थं.
All the doshas and ill effects related to death like destined death, unnatural death, fatal death be removed.
समेषाम् अन्तर्दृष्टि बहिर्दृष्टि क्रूर दृष्टि व्यापार दृष्टि अनुकूल दृष्टि प्रतिकूल दृष्टि इत्यादि सकलविध दृष्ट दोष निवृत्त्यर्थम्.
All the effects of the evil eyes from known and unknown sources, effects of cruelty, filled eyes, effects of evil eyes of business enemies, effects of evil eyes of people whom we project as if they are our well-wishers, and effects of evil eyes of people who are against our well-being be removed.
समेषाम् अन्तःशत्रु बहिःशत्रु क्रूर शत्रु व्यापार शत्रु अनुकूल शत्रु प्रतिकूल शत्रु इत्यादि सकलविध शत्रु बाधा निवृत्त्यर्थम्.
And all the effects of the hidden enemies and outer enemies, fierce enemies and business enemies, enemies who project themselves as to our well-being be removed.
समेषां मातृशापादि सकलविध शापानां व्यपोहनार्थम्.
Let all the effects of the curses right from the mother be removed.
अनादि अविद्यावासनया प्रवर्तमाने अस्मिन् महति संसार चक्रे विचित्राभिः कर्मगतिभिः विचित्रासु योनिषु पुनः पुनः अनेकधा जनित्वा.
Sometime immemorial, due to ignorance, we get caught in the vast cycle of birth and death. Due to the effects of our action, we take birth again and again in various bodies, which is quite strange.
केनापि पुण्यकर्म विशेषेण भगवतः श्रीनित्यानन्द परमशिवस्य अपरिमितया कृपया इदानीन्तन मनुष्यजन्म प्राप्तवताम्.
Yet, due to some good action, with the extreme and the immeasurable compassion and the grace of Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, we have been blessed with a human body.
समेषामिह जन्मनि पूर्वजन्मनि जन्म जन्मान्तरेषु सर्वैः कृताना शिवनिन्दा देवी निन्दा गुरुनिन्दा दोषव्यपोहार्थं शिवापराध देव्यपराध गुरुवपराध दोषव्यपोहार्थम्.
Any kind of abuse we may have done to Paramashiva, Parashakti, and Guru in the present birth, past birth, or in any of the births be removed. Any kind of crimes or offences committed against Paramashiva, Parashakti, and Guru be removed.
ब्रह्म हत्या सुरापान स्वर्णस्तेय गुरुकल्पगमन तत्संसर्गाख्य पंचमहापातकादि समस्त पाप व्यतिरिक्तार्थम्.
Let the 5 great sins like killing a Brahmin, drinking prohibited alcohol, stealing gold, having illicit relationship with Guru's wife, one's own mother, elder sister, and other such motherly figures, and those who have people who have committed similar crimes be removed.
अपि च सर्वै बाल्ये वयसि कौमारे यौवने वार्धक्ये च.
Let all the karmic effects done as a child, adolescent, youth, and as a old age person.
जाग्रत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति अवस्थासु.
Let all the karmic effects of the action done in the wakeful dream or deep sleep state.
कर्मेन्द्रिय ज्ञानेन्द्रिय व्यापारैः संभावितानां.
Let all the sins done through the karmendriyas, the 5 organs which perform action like speech, hand, speech, expression, reproductive organs, and the Gyanendriyas, the 5 organs which receive information like ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and skin.
Rahasyakratanam, Prakashakratanam, Atipatakanam, Udbhatakanam, Sankalikarananam, Malikarananam, Patrikarananam, Jati Bramshakanam, Prakirnitanam, Evam Navanam, Navavidhanam, Bahunam, Bahuvidhanam, Sarvesham, Papanam, Sadhyaha.
With the sense which are done openly or secretly, the greatest of the great sins, the minor of the minor sins, multiple sins in, like there being above an unjustifiable sense in, of destroying the caste system, narrow-minded sins, such 9 sins and 9 types of sins, and more sins and more types of sins, be removed immediately and instantly.
अपनोदन द्वारा समस्त मंगल प्राप्त्यर्थम शिव भक्ति देवी भक्ति गुरु भक्ति सिद्ध्यर्थम परमशिवत्व परमशिव स्थिति परमशिव शक्ति सिद्ध्यर्थम.
Through the removal of sins, let us be showered with all the auspiciousness, and let Paramashiva Bhakti, Devi Bhakti, and Guru Bhakti be obtained. Let the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva be obtained.
कुटुंबे सर्वदा सन्मंगल प्राप्त्यर्थम अन्योन्य प्रेमाभिवृद्ध्यर्थम पूर्णत्व सिद्ध्यर्थम सर्वापनिवृत्त्यर्थम.
Let the whole family always be showered with all the auspiciousness. Let mutual love bloom among all the people. Let completion happen. Let all the mishap be removed.
क्षेप्रारोग्यवाप्त्यर्थम आयुर्भिवृद्ध्यर्थम पूर्णत्व सिद्ध्यर्थम.
Let healthy body be obtained immediately and instantly. Let longevity be bestowed.
व्यापारे उद्योगे च सर्वजनवशीकरणार्थं तद्वारा उन्नतोन्नतस्थान प्राप्त्यर्थं.
Your charisma impress everyone in the business and job, and through that let you attain the best of the best position.
बहुधन सौख्य प्राप्त्यर्थं गृह कनक पशुपुत्र पौत्र धन धान्य सौख्य प्राप्त्यर्थं.
It's extremely wealthy and happy life happen. Let various wealth be showered in the form of house, gold, cattle, children, grandchildren, money, and grains, and all the comforts related to worldly life.
आदित्यादीनां नवानां ग्रहाणां दोषपीडा निवारणार्थम् आदित्यादीनां नवानां ग्रहाणाम् आनुकूल्यता सिद्ध्यर्थं.
The malefic effects of the 9 planets be removed, and let the auspiciousness be bestowed by the grace of all the 9 planets.
भूम्यन्तरिक्षे विद्यमान भूत प्रेत पिशाच राक्षस ब्रह्म राक्षस वेताल कूष्माण्ड डाकिनी शाकिनी इत्यादि सर्वारिष्ट निवारणार्थम्.
Let all the evil effects that cause calamities on the planet Earth, the evil effects from various demonic beings like Bhuta, Preta, dead people, Pishacha, demon, Rakshasa, Brahma, Rakshasa, Vetada, ghost, Kushmanda, class of demons, Dakini, little devil, Shakini, kind of female demon be removed.
मनोव्याकुलता निवारणार्थम्.
Let the mental confusion and worry be removed.
प्रारब्धे कर्मणि करिष्यमाणे कर्मणि आदिदैविक आदिभौतिक आध्यात्मिक विघ्न निवारणार्थम्.
Let all the obstacles be removed with regards to action done or going to be done related to God, world, and spirituality.
समस्त ऋण निवारणार्थं धन लक्ष्मी धान्य लक्ष्मी संतान लक्ष्मी सौभाग्य लक्ष्मी विद्या लक्ष्मी वीर्य लक्ष्मी शौर्य लक्ष्मी विजय लक्ष्मी इत्यादि अष्टलक्ष्मी परिपूर्ण कृपा कटाक्ष सिद्ध्यर्थम.
Let all the rooms be removed. Let all the Ashtalakshmis like Dana Lakshmi, Valdani Lakshmi, food and grains, Santana Lakshmi, offerings, Saubhagya Lakshmi, fortune, Vidya Lakshmi, knowledge, Shaurya Lakshmi, bravery, Veera Lakshmi, heroism, Vijay Lakshmi, success be showered.
परीक्षासु उन्नत स्थाने विजय प्राप्त्यर्थं सर्वविद्या पारंगता सिद्ध्यर्थं मेधा शक्ति ग्रहण शक्ति अभिवृद्ध्यर्थं.
Let the top rank be obtained in the examinations. With all the excellence be acquired and all the fields of knowledge. Let the memory power, understanding ability be increased.
इत्यादि सकलविध सन्मंगलानि गुरु कृपा कटाक्षेन प्राप्त्यर्थं.
By the grace of Guru, let all the above auspiciousness be showered upon.
श्री कैलासोनद द्वादशांत श्यामला पीठारूढ़.
The one who has ascended the supreme place of Kailasa, where Paramashiva resides and rules the whole cosmos and Kailasa.
श्री मीनाक्षी सुंदरेश्वरा भिन्न शिवपुत्र रत्न कुमार.
The one who is no different from Meenakshi Sundareshwara, the most beloved son of Paramashiva.
गुरुमन्यतुल्यावतार श्री पार्वती स्तन्यपान लब्ध दिव्य ज्ञान विश्रुत सकल निगमागम सारभूत द्राविड वेद प्रवर्त्र.
The young boy who is such amongst gurus and the unequaled avatar, the one who received enlightenment by drinking the breast milk of Devi Parvati, the author of the famous Dravida Vedam, which is the essence of all the Vedas and Agamas.
श्रीमत् परमशिव करुणा समधिगत मुक्तामय चतुरश्रयान गीयमान छत्र चामर शीचिन्ह काहलादि समस्त बिरदावल्यलंकृत ज्ञान विज्ञान चक्रवर्ती.
The one adorned by the quadrangular palanquin made of pearl, received by the grace of Paramashiva, adorned by the musical instruments Ambarla, Chamaram, the sacred symbols of shape, adorned by the hands of Aces, the one who has won the whole world by his enlightenment and the signs of enlightenment, and been accepted by all kings as a supreme ruler.
सर्वजन संग सद्यो निर्वाण दीक्षा व्याप वर्ग वर्ष विश्रान जीमूत परमत कलभ केसरी.
A shower of Videha Mukti and the immutable state of enlightenment, and immediately by Nirvana Diksha to all people, the one who creates this protecting leader, the roaming lion, and the comforting elephant for other religions.
शैव सिद्धांत स्थापनाचार्य श्री राजाधिराज पांड्य महाराज गुरु क्षपन शाक्यादि महांधकार निवारण ज्ञान भानु दीक्षण नरहार ध्वजोच्छेदन पूर्वक श्रीमद् वृषभ ध्वज स्थापक शैव समय कर्तृ.
The Acharya who established Shaiva Siddhanta, the Rajaguru of the Pandya king, who is the supreme king of all kings, the Guru who is also the Pandya king, the supreme king of all kings, the enlightening sun that removes the utter darkness of delusion, the one who has installed the Shiva flag, the creator and the reviver of Shaivism.
सर्वज्ञ पीठारूढ़ श्री जगत गुरु श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक स्वामी वागीश सुंदर माणिक्य वाचक स्वामिना अवतार भूत श्री ज्ञान संबंध स्वामी पुनरुद्धृत श्यामला पीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ तृणवद्युत्तर द्विशतम गुरु महासन्निधान.
The one who is the ruler of the Sarvagya Pita, the seat of omniscience, who the avatar of such abomination attributes, the Guru of the whole world, Sri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Swami, Upper Sundara Ranmanika Vachaka Swami, who the ruler of the knowledge of enlightenment, the Shmula Pita Mahasamsthana, which was known by Jnana Sambandha, which was revived by Jnana Sambandha Swami, the one who ascended the seat of omniscience, the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhana.
अरुणगिरि योगीश्वर परंपरागत अरुणाचल सर्वज्ञ पीठ गुरु महासन्निधान.
The one who has ascended the seat of Arunachala Sarvagya Pita in the lineage of Arunachala.
कैलास परंपरागत कांची कैलास सर्वज्ञ पीठ त्रयस्त्रिंशदुत्तर द्विशतम गुरु महासन्निधान.
One who has ascended the seat of Kamchi, Kailasa Sarvagya Pita as the 233rd pontiff in the lineage of Kailasa.
नित्योत्सव नित्य मंगल नित्य कल्याण नित्यरचित कैलास परंपरागत आदि कैलास नित्यानंद पीठ महासमस्थान महासिंहासन पीठ कर्तृ साक्षाची परमशिव समुद्भूत कैलास परंपरागत वैवस्वत मनीक्षाकरे चंद्र भगीरथ श्री रामचंद्र शूरसेन अनवच्छिन्न सार्वभौम चक्रवर्ती परंपरागत चतुष्षष्टि योगिनी मंडित चतुष्षष्टि संप्रदाय प्रवर्तक मनुधर्म शासन सूर्य वंश प्राप्त सर्वज्ञ पीठ सुरांगी साम्राज्य बुद्धाभिषिक्त चूड़ामणि साक्षाची परमशिव समुद्भूत कपिल महागुरु पुनरुद्धृत महानिर्वाणी पीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्र श्री महामंडलेश्वर साक्षाची परमशिव सिंहासनाभिषिक्त समस्त गणनायक श्री महागणपति समारंभ अनवच्छिन्न पीठाधीश्वर गुरु परंपरा प्राप्त अटल पीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्रतम अष्टोत्तर सहस्र श्री अटल पीठाधीश्वर धर्म मुक्ति स्वर्गपुर स्वर्ण पीठ त्रयोविंश गुरु महासन्निधान कैलास परंपरागत आदिपीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ जगत गुरु श्री कैलास पुनरुद्धारक श्री कैलास परमाचार्य श्रीमत् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य वर्य सच्चिदानंद प्रणव स्वरूप श्रोत्रिय ब्रह्मनिष्ठ श्रीमद् जगत गुरु श्रील श्री भगवत श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक परमाचार्य सतम तेषां पादारविन्दयोः भक्ति सिद्ध्यर्थं गुरु कृपा कटाक्ष सिद्ध्यर्थं क्षेम स्थैर्य वीर्य विजय आयुरारोग्य ऐश्वर्यर्थं धर्मार्थ काम मोक्ष सर्वविध फल पुरुषार्थ सिद्ध्यर्थं
मम समस्तदुरितोपशान्त्यर्थं समस्तमङ्गलवाप्त्यर्थं भगवत् श्री नित्यानन्द परमशिव प्रसादेन सकुटुम्बस्य ज्ञानवैराग्य जीवन मुक्ति प्राप्त्यर्थं च श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवस्य श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिव अवतार भूत सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपस्य भगवतः श्री नित्यानन्द परमशिवस्य च ध्यान षोडशोपचार सर्वोपचार अर्चनाराधन पूजां प्रार्थनां करिष्ये। ओम आनन्दगन्धनिलयाय नमः। ओम भवरोगभेषजाय नमः। ओम कल्पतरवे नमः। ओम पशुपतये नमः। ओम पाशविमोचकाय नमः। ओम ईप्सितफलदायकाय नमः। ओम भाग्यवृत्तिपरिवर्तकाय नमः। ओम आधिर्व्याधिविनाशकाय नमः। ओम समस्तकल्याणगुणान्विताय नमः। ओम विडदिपुरीशाय नमः। ओम श्रीकैलासपतये नमः। ओम शिवशक्त्यैक्यस्वरूपाय नमः। ओम ह्रीं नित्यानन्दाय नमः। ओम हं हं शिवाय नमः। ओम श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। ओम श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिव अवतार भूत श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय श्रील श्री भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक परमाचार्य स्वामिने नमः। ओम नित्यानंदम। As all of us just connected and received the grace and blessings of Irena Sundareshwara Parameshwara Paramburu through this powerful sacred chant of the Paramashivoham. Let us all continue to connect with Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva, as all of us are preparing ourselves to behold the darshan of Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramburu. With your head, neck, and spine straight line. Bringing your entire awareness to your Ananda Gandha, your being center, the region between your heart center and above your navel center. Have your eyes closed. Relax from all of your restlessness. Connecting yourself. Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva Param. Meditate upon the form of Bhagavan Sundareshwara in your Ananda Gandha as he is sitting through the manifestation of his Nija Avatara, the supreme pontiff of Hinduism. Just meditate on that graceful, that most compassionate, beautiful form of Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva. And chant the Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Continue to connect to Irena Sundareshwara Paramashivam. Do not distract yourself with any kind of restlessness. As each and every one of us that here to have the darshan Sundareshwara Paramashivoham. Each and every one of us that are here are the most blessed. For us, we get to directly interact, directly receive the blessings and boons from Bhagavan Sundareshwara himself. Just connect to his energy and he will be there for you. Please avoid any kind of distraction. Bring in your entire awareness to your Ananda Gandha, your being center. Continue to meditate, connecting to Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva in your Ananda Gandha. Like the Supreme Pontiff, Hinduism has beautifully blessed and guided all of us. The best way to receive Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva is through Leela Dhyana, feeling connection. Just the space of bhakti, feeling connection, deep devotion is the best way to prepare yourself to receiving the darshan of Sundareshwara Paramashiva. Continue to be in the same meditative space. So beautiful to see your comments. To everyone of you that are connected, each and every one of you that are witnessing this moment. Prepare yourself, your inner space, to behold, to receive Sundareshwara Paramashiva, the most compassionate form of Paramashiva.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.